Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This is Morning Breath for Monday, March 30th, 2015. And as you can see, we decided to take a field trip to our local fire pit.
Which we are cheating a little bit because clearly it's not morning for us, but it is morning for you.
Yep.
And
it's all relative.
Yeah. It's just such a nice day. We figured that we want to record outside, and the only way to do it was to have these fancy guys in the way. So I know it looks a little funny. We apologize for any unwanted noises that may occur.
Or wanted noises that may occur.
Depending on who you are.
Right. So I guess a couple of quick things. We've got our April tour is pretty much sewn up, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we have, I think, 10 shows on the books.
Yeah. And they're all on the site, Whitherward.com, so you can check out the shows there. We did recently kind of switch our main site. We're trying out something called Bandzoogle. So I don't know if any of your musician friends have tried it. We just set it up last night, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks really clean. I'm pretty happy with it.
So you can find all the show information there. July's starting to look pretty good too, yeah?
Yeah, we have about 9 shows booked already in July. So we're going to do the first 2 weeks in San Diego and LA. And then we're going to head up to San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, across the top, Chicago, down to Atlanta, Nashville, and then cut through Texas and Phoenix and back home.
Yes, it's going to be a busy summer.
Yeah.
But it's starting to come together, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and again, we're still looking for sponsors. Well, we haven't even really begun yet. So if you are interested, we need alcohol companies, music companies. We need a hotel chain. We need, and we're going to be starting a Kickstarter too for gas money. So we need a car, which I think we've got that covered, thanks to Michelle. But we'll see. We'll see. That's not sewn up yet either. And if you know anybody, we sure really would appreciate the connection. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. What else was there? What else did we think of talking about today? I can't remember.
We've been writing a lot too.
Yeah,
so let's see. Ed and I just wrote a couple new ones on my own, and then we wrote 2 new ones together just this week that we're pretty excited about. Yeah. So I'm not sure if they're going to end up on the record or not, but the idea is we're just going to be writing a bunch, probably until we leave for the April tour and on the April tour. And then I think by May, we're going to start getting our song selection down and start actually recording it.
Yep. So we'll be pretty busy with doing that. And it's been fun just to write again,
Yeah.
We hadn't done it in a while.
Yeah, well, we've been a little busy.
Yeah, that's true.
One thing at a time, I suppose, huh?
Yeah, so...
Well, go ahead.
One other thing we wanted to talk about today was something that I think a lot of us are talking about in the music industry, and that is the recent Robin Thicke and Pharrell v. Marvin Gaye's family issue, where apparently Marvin Gaye's family had claimed that Robin Thicke and Pharrell had claimed copyright infringement on their song Blurred Lines. It was similar to one of Marvin Gaye's songs. And honestly, I can't remember the song right now.
Which should tell you something.
Yeah.
Which should tell you something. Because when we looked it up, I was like, oh, I know the song. I can't remember it now either.
Yeah.
I mean, we just kind of wanted to talk about copyright infringement in general. There are a few cases like this. I know this is kind of the one on everybody's mind right now.
Yeah. And
we have opinions about it.
Yeah.
And they matter.
Yeah. Darn it. Well, it's just odd because, Ash and I listened, hopefully all of you have listened to the 2 songs back to back, and they don't even, at best, they feel similar in beat alone, and that's a stretch, and the melodies don't seem to match, the words don't seem to match. Like there's
Which
nothing.
Which is funny because as far as I have ever known in my world of songwriting in Nashville, is the definition of a song is melody and lyrics. So, and it wasn't the melody. I mean, you could sing it over the beat, sure, but I feel like we can do that with so many. We all do it all the time. You know how many times you turn on the radio or you hear a band playing something, you sing along to something else. I mean, there's only so many notes and so many chords out there. So
yeah, there was actually I saw some article a while back. It was just kind of a funny article that I think they said mathematically, like we either have run out of notes or about to like run out of combinations of notes and stuff for melodies or something.
So we're all screwed then.
Yeah. And this sets a pretty awful precedent for songwriters.
Yeah, and it's scary. I mean, we, haven't hit it big enough where we would think that somebody would do that. But I had, and actually come to think of it, I remember I did have a friend of mine come up to me and I just played a new song and my friend was like, hey, that song is like mine. And she's like, it's the same melody. And I was like, oh my God, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And then I went home and I looked at this person's song and I looked at my song and I was like, what? No, they're not similar. Like you can sing one over the other, but the lyrics were totally different. And the melody was kind of similar, but not really at all. It's so easy to do is my point. And if it's subconscious, doesn't make it.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Doesn't make it legit. Did you steal somebody's song if you do it subconsciously or if it's similar?
That's a very good question. I think
my opinion is no.
There was a legal precedent for that, though, wasn't there, with the George Harrison case, right?
George Harrison and the song My Sweet Lord in the late 70s, he was sued for copyright infringement for it was a Chicks group song called
like
He's So Fine.
Yeah, an old R&B group.
Yeah, and the legal kind of verdict, I guess, was that he had subconsciously infringed the copyright.
Yeah.
And was found guilty. Because it was subconscious. And he admitted it. He's like, oh, yeah, I must have done that subconsciously. I'm George Harrison. That song's yours. I have a million others. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But that also, the other thing with the singer brings up an interesting point is that there is the perception of something sounding similar. Mm-hmm. And I think there were, there have been a lot of articles written about this particular case with Robin Thicke and a few of my Facebook friends have chimed in on it and kind of mentioned that, like, well, yeah, these songs are probably going to sound very similar to people who frankly aren't very knowledgeable about music in a technical sense. But there are a lot of people that do know a lot about music. I know several of them, and they would be able to say, well, no, it doesn't sound like that, or maybe it does. But if you get a group of people who are very casual listeners and aren't actively listening to the songs and really analyzing them, and you have these people making decisions involving millions of dollars, that's very dangerous.
It's $7.5 million.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's a lot of money. And it sets up a precedent for anybody to go after anybody for something that sounds even vaguely similar to something they've done before.
What if we went out and sold $1,000 worth of our CDs next month and somebody came and said, that song Tumbleweeds is mine, and then we had to give our $1,000 back?
Plus legal fees.
We'd be screwed.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's scary. It is a scary precedent for songwriters, and I think they are appealing the decision. So.
Yeah, I did read that today. Another good example is that Coldplay, Satriani.
Oh, yeah, that is a very good example.
And what's interesting about that is the fact that Coldplay was found innocent.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you listen, that melody is pretty much identical.
And that one you listen to, and you can tell right away that they're the same.
Yeah. But again, if they did it subconsciously, does that make it right to give Joe Satriani the... I mean, I don't
know. It's
I
hard
don't
to
think
say.
it is.
I don't think it's very fair. No, I mean...
No, I mean, if somebody steals your song, I think that absolutely needs to be punished and everything taken away from them.
The problem is it's hard to tell. Like, you can't enter somebody's mind and determine whether they meant to do it or not. That's the legal hurdle right there. You know?
Yeah, and to be quite honest, I mean, Joe Satriani probably didn't make as much money as Coldplay did on it,
No.
and wouldn't have. So just I don't know. I say just let Coldplay go, which they did, but let Free for Hell.
Yeah. So it's a really interesting, topic that kind of got rekindled amongst the songwriter community in particular, and and we had a discussion about it, especially like defining parts of a song and what they are and what's off limits. It's helpful to know what's off limits and what isn't.
Well, which is such a gray area.
Yeah.
I mean, if I went out and if I heard Ed play a song he has called Center of the Universe, and I went out and I took the song and I re-sang it and I was like, I wrote this, that would be a problem.
Well, yeah, that's
but
completely theft.
I might one day accidentally do something that's maybe sort of similar to that.
Yeah.
Because you have been very influential on me as a musician. I probably won't because I'm not. That song is really good. I can't do that one.
Well, thank you.
What I'm trying to say, Ed, is I'm going to steal all your songs.
Okay, good.
Okay.
But yeah, I see what you mean. Like it's a it very well could happen subconsciously, and that's just almost impossible to prove. So the fact that a jury just automatically thinks they did it intentionally is frightening. So
it is scary. It's scary for us.
It's not going to stop us writing songs. It's just a thing that kind of runs in the back of our mind.
And there's no way to check. There's no way you can write a melody and go, oh, let me just scan the internet really quickly to see if anybody else has this already out there.
Yeah. And even then, that opens up a whole rat's nest of other problems. And I see something like that, I feel like would really hamper songwriters, especially me, who's already kind of self-conscious about it anyway. Like if I wrote something I thought was really good and then I was like, oh man, I better check on this site, I'm going to be less likely to write a song about anything, because I'm going to be afraid of some specter.
Not to mention, it's hard. It's really hard to copy. Yeah, it's hard to just listen to a song and go, I'm going to rewrite that song. It's probably going to turn out pretty differently. And that's pretty hard to do. I think it's subconscious. I think it needs to be celebrated. I mean, as we are also cover musicians, we play cover songs. And sometimes we'll mash them together and it's really fun. We'll play the same guitar riff and then we'll sing something and then we'll go right into another song. And it's fun and everybody likes it.
Yeah.
So why can't we celebrate it? Why do we have to... take each other to court
it.
over it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I agree.
But I didn't realize I felt this strongly about it until this very moment, to be quite honest. So,
well, that's why we do this.
It is. This is our therapy session. We talk things through.
So we'll see what happens with that. Go decide for yourself. Just go out and listen to the two songs in question, read about it. And, let us know what you think on our Facebook page or whatever.
Listen to the other examples, too. The Coldplay, Satriani, and the Harrison, whatever the other song was, comparison.
Yeah.
And, tell us what you think. We want to know.
Yeah.
We want to know your opinion. It matters.
It does. So, the song today, again, we're continuing our kind of peer cover series on Morning Breath.
We're not stealing, we're covering.
We're covering, exactly.
We've talked about this group before, actually. Many times.
On several occasions. I can't shut up about them.
It's a fan.
I wrote articles and other stuff.
Oh, yeah. You can find an article on our website about them. Yeah.
I praise them. The group is Mbird. They are comprised of our good friends, Megan Birdsall and Michael Andrew Smith, hailing from KC. They also are they also have a band that are backed by Ben Leifer and Matt Leifer, Ben on bass, Matt on drums, and they're unbelievable musicians.
And Ed actually used to play bass for them in Nashville.
When Megan and Michael started getting out and they needed an upright player, and I can play upright, and they asked me to play. And so I got to learn a lot of their tunes, and it was just, they were doing something, on a completely different level than anybody I'd seen. And I have a lot of favorite songwriters around Nashville, but Mbird, they were just on a whole other plane.
Yeah, first of all, Megan is one of the best singers you'll just about ever hear.
Oh, yeah.
And then their songwriting is just incredible.
Yeah.
They write a lot of their stuff kind of much like we do. They write some of it separate and some of it they write together.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff on the album turns out to be that. And it's almost got this kind of jazz influence to it. Megan is a very well-known jazz singer in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And they started this project, and it's not jazz, but you can hear the influence behind it.
Absolutely.
Amongst, I think they're kind of going more rock nowadays, jazz rock.
Yeah.
But they were doing like jazz country kind of back in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And
now it's kind of morphed into this kind of a little bit of an edge, a rock edge to it.
Mm-hmm.
They're working on a full-length album right now, and I cannot wait to hear what it sounds like.
Yeah, we're excited.
So the song that we're doing from them today is called Enough for Me. And I think they did do this on Over the Bones, the album they did while in Nashville. And so you should check that out. It's a very, very good album. And this one was the one, I thought of this one because it was the song they played the last night they performed at your West End Indigo Writers Night. I had a video of it.
Yeah.
And
that was a memorable night.
Yeah. And it was just that song just kind of stuck with me.
Did they do it? We went and did a show with them in Kansas City actually last year. Did they do it there? I don't think they did.
No, I don't think so. I don't remember it.
But hopefully we'll be doing a show with them again soon.
Yeah.
So definitely check them out. Mbird. They have got all kinds of great stuff that it's just gonna blow you away. We love them. Megan, Michael, love you guys.
So without further ado, Enough for Me.
Lately everybody's been telling me all their stories about how it used to be and how it relates to me. I've turned this record off at least 1,000 times, longing to rise to what you see. You know how the pressure can be, it's so relentless, you see, but I know if I take it slow, then I will learn the truth, and then I can give it to you, and that would be enough for me.
Lately when I think about you, I start to cry, like looking at pictures of my other life that I've put aside, with all the histories inside that I know. If I take it slow, that I will learn the truth, and then I will give it to you, and that would be enough for me. I can't believe this is happening to me. It feels like I'm leaving everything that I love. The courage I carry in my heart now,
My wisdom I got from you, but my heart don't change easy. you'll understand
that my love for you is on my other hand.
and this was never planned. I gotta take a chance, 'cause I know
If I take it slow, then I will learn the truth, and then I will give it to you.
that would be enough.
That would be enough. That would be enough for
me. We did it.
Yeah. And no, you don't get a resolution, Megan. I'm sorry. We had to cut that. We had to cut it because reasons. So.
We don't like resolutions.
So that's it.
Just much like my life. Sorry, I was delayed. That would have been so much better like 2 seconds earlier.
That's fine. I'll move it.
Okay, yeah,
Can't move it before then, so it's fine.
just use your imagination.
Well, thanks for going on a field trip with us. Thanks for hanging out. Extra special thanks to our patrons who help support this here and abroad.
To become a patron, if you are not one yet, if you're watching on YouTube, please go to patreon.com/Whitherward. It's only $1 per video, and it really goes a long way for us, and we really appreciate it. So,
After these messages, we'll be right back.